Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm joined with a very special guest, Mr. Trey Mornan. Trey, thanks for coming on, man. It's been such an honor to work with you and just to kind of see your explosive growth over the last 6 months. And yeah, man, it's just been so cool to see you literally build from the ground up and
Yeah.
hit a record 65K a month
Yeah.
from basically zero. And
Yeah.
it's such a cool story too about like how you started, how you joined the program, and then also like the process of like getting those first few clients in the door, stacking some foundations of social proof, and then raising your prices and just
Exactly.
absolutely exploding. And now, just before we started recording, you're telling me about how it's like now you finally have time. It feels weird that you're like working
Yeah.
on your business instead of stuck in it, and you're just
Yeah.
like what do I do with all this time? And so
Yeah.
it's such a cool story. And yeah, man, just thrilled to have you on here. And it's yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So for those that don't know who are you? What do you do? And yeah, talk to us a little bit.
Definitely, man. Oh, thank you for having me, man. I'm really appreciative of you, your team, and the whole entire Summit community. Man, y'all mean a lot to me, and I was really grateful to be able to spend some time with you guys here in Miami. My name's Trey Morning. I run a business called Coach Kama, and what we do, we help basketball players stop overthinking and be quicker on court. And we take them, players, and their families on a journey of transformation and really prepare them for higher levels of basketball in ways that they didn't necessarily see before. I played professional basketball, so that's how I got into this in some ways. I played in the NBA, in the G League, in Russia, and then in New Zealand. And my father, Alonzo Mourning, he played 16 years in the NBA. Was one of the best basketball players of all time. So I have a wealth of experience, and I grew up in the game, and I've always had this itch to be able to help young players to be that OG, as some people would say, like the godfather to a lot of young players, and help them avoid some of the pitfalls that a lot of players fall into. And we've been able to do that with Coach Kama so far, and this is just the beginning, I'm hoping.
So good. So talk to us a little bit about kind of like back in August, September, what was going on?
Yeah. Man, so I've been in different seasons of my life where I've worked jobs outside of basketball, and I stopped playing about 3 years ago. I felt led to, put basketball down for a little bit. And I lived as a missionary in Brazil for about 6 months, and traveled, to some other places. And when I was back in the States, I started working a job in hospitality, and it's a company based in Miami, and they had an operation in Virginia for about 4 months during the holiday season. And I went up to work on those properties. And um, during that time, I was building out my coaching business. I had a lot of time, on my hands. When I was there, I was managing, staff. And in my off time, I would be on my phone building out my business, and really just brainstorming and putting stuff down on paper and building out the systems that I needed. And it came to a point where I realized I needed help. Right. I'd had coaches in basketball and coaches in other areas of my life, and I saw an ad one day. It was your ad, and there were some other people who I saw their ads as well. And I remember the day I hopped on the call with Matthias, who's one of your sales reps. I had a call with him, and I had some other calls scheduled before, but that call specifically was different, man. It was a different call. I felt, not just emotional on that call, but I felt like, there was it was the best sales call I've been on, myself at that point. And man, it touched some emotional points for me. And I was like, whoa, like I really want to make a change. And as I was telling you before, I had about $500 in my savings account at the time, and I was saving up to eventually pay off some credit card debt, and was doing a strategy that I had heard people have done before, and it just never felt right. I was always like, okay, I need to do this as an entrepreneur. I have a mentor, and he says it this way. He says that it's easier to make a lot of money fast than it is to make a little money fast. And I took that $500, and Matthias is like, "Do you want to draw a line in the sand?" And I'm like, "You know what? Screw it. Let's do it." So I transferred that money from my savings into my checking, made the $500 deposit. And I was, praying at the time, like, okay, like if it's just meant to be, like God, I need $2,500 more dollars to get started, you know. And I think sometimes we got to take these steps of faith, and we don't see the whole bridge, see the whole picture in front of us. It's like, what can you do right now? So within a week, you know, it was actually my birthday in a couple weeks, and somebody had sent me exactly $2,500 to get started with the program. So I was like, oh shoot, like let's do it. And I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them anything about the money. I didn't tell them anything about what I was doing. I just got exactly 2,500 in my account, and I reached out to Matthias. I'm like, "Yo, send me the link. Let's do it." And I, you know, got started. Made the payment then, and then in about a month or so after I had finished working that job, I left, and then I went all in on this business, and we're in my office now, and yeah, doing this interview.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
What was going on in your head during that time when like you literally put 500 down and
Yeah,
like that's the definition of burning your boats. Like,
yeah. It was. It was, dude. I remember that day I felt excited. I actually reached out to a buddy of mine. I'm like, dude, I made a big investment. I'm feeling really good about it. Reached out to a couple friends. And the next day, Jay, I was scared shitless. It came up and I was like, dang, what if this all the what ifs came to mind, right? All the what ifs. What if this doesn't work? What if this, and this? And I had to go back and be like, look, like this has to work, right? This has to work. Obviously, if it doesn't work, like you figure out another solution. At the same time, I think a lot of coaches, a lot of people who I think you maybe said this in one of the modules, and something that I saw, and other coaches have said it before. And I tell my prospects this as well when we hop on calls. Obviously, I'm not hopping on calls anymore, but when I was, um, you want to have a $50,000 a month business or $100,000 a month business, and you don't want to invest 9 grand right now. You don't want to invest 10 grand right now. Like, make that make sense. And I think people need to snap out of it and be like, oh, shoot, like, yeah, it's 500. I can always make this money back. I can't get time back, and I can't get this opportunity back. And I think, you know, one of the coaches that you have in your program, he always talks about collapsing time, right? You said this as well. Like, in order to get to a place that we've never been before, we can't keep doing things that have not worked. We can't be prideful and say, oh, let me just try harder, because doing something that hasn't worked, doing it harder is just going to make you more tired. It's not going to get you the result. You need to knowledge is the bridge that's going to get you there, and the best way to get that knowledge is to work with somebody who has the bumps, the bruises, and the scars to help you avoid some of those pitfalls, so you don't get your ad account, you know, completely canceled, or all that stuff. Like, you need somebody, you know, like yourself or other mentors like myself to really help expedite the process.
I love that. And I think it's a great segue into talking about like kind of the difference between people that see a lot of success and the ones that don't. And one thing that you mentioned there was like, I have to figure this out.
Yeah.
And I know you have a pretty cool story too about like a screenshot.
Mhm.
And do you want to just touch on that a little bit?
Definitely, man. Like, I'm, I'm all into mindset stuff and motivation and things like that. And, you know, prayer. I used to be a chaplain for the Miami Heat. And I also think prayer can become procrastination at a time, right? You can invest in a bunch of courses and be like, I paid this coach to do this and that coach to do this, and it didn't work. Okay, like what's the common denominator in all those programs? It's you, right? It's not necessarily another coach or another, you know, relationship that's going to fix it. It's like, what's wrong with you, right? That you need in order to need to fix in order to, you know, get it right. So you had shared something in the community one day, and there was this I won't say her name, but she had said something in the community. It was just really eye-opening to me, man. And she'd asked you a question. I don't have the question screenshotted, but I have your response screenshotted. And I think she was talking about, oh, here's it. Here it is. She says that she was very unemployable, right? She burned her boats, and she got to a point where she's realizing like, I can't go back now. I'm very unemployable. And you're like, great question. You know, the biggest patterns I see in the ones who absolutely crush are, one, they figure it out and don't let challenges get in the way. Winners win regardless. Two, they don't suffer in silence and disappear when things go wrong. We're here exactly for that reason. Use us. Three, think long term. urgent with actions. Be urgent with actions and patient with results. And then lastly, they keep testing. If something doesn't work, out first try. Some clients test 20 to 30 ads before finding their winner. Then that winner takes them to 100K a month and beyond. Many more come to mind. You said, but those are the main ones that you could think of at that moment. And I just think, man, like, um, yes, you got to have that never say die attitude and burn your boats and don't look back. And that's very similar to what I did. And at the same time, you got to kill your pride, because I think sometimes when you burn those boats, you can puff your chest out and be like, all right, cool, let's go in this head on, and not realize that like you just burned your boats, bro. Like you need people around you to guide you. So this is not a foolish decision. This is actually a well thought out decision and commitment, instead of, potentially chaos down the line because you didn't ask for help. So I think those things for me really took me to the next level.
So good. Let's talk about like what that journey was like, literally from 0 to 65K.
Yeah.
How long did that take you? And what were some of like the biggest levers that you pulled in
Yeah.
your business to get you from A to B there?
Definitely. Well, first one, you got to get over the fear of just posting. Like you have to put yourself out there. Like at the end of the day, coaches, like we have to have personal brands, and whether you're a good communicator or not, you have to go out there and make it happen. And I think regardless of your skill level, you can get in your own head. Like for me, I speak more than 4 languages and I've traveled all around the world. I have 2 degrees. So I'm like, okay, like I can speak. It's just in front of a camera on social media, I feel kind of awkward, it doesn't make sense. At the same time, I think I had to get over that hurdle of like just record the content. And another lever that really shifted things for me, Jay, is building a team. Like you have to invest. It's not a matter of, and you talk about company culture a lot. It's not a matter of having people on your team. It's a matter of having the right people on your team, right? You got to have the right people in the right seats, and I can't take credit for the people that came along my way. Like it's really this divine process of like I got was really blessed to have my setter come in at the time he came in. My lead flow was going crazy. We recorded one ad and everything printed, and I want this to be a message to like people who are thinking about joining your program. When they hear my story and say, "Oh, Trey only recorded one ad and he started printing," like don't let that discourage you from entering a program. Like, don't pick a reason in your mind out of this conversation. Oh, this is why it can't work for me, because that's just going to shoot you in the foot long term. It's going to affect the people you're serving. And I think when you do burn the boats, you eventually realize, Jay, that it's not about you. That you burn the boats to really help other people. And I think one of the reasons why you do so many masterminds isn't because you want to collect a bunch of checks and go on yachts and all that stuff. It's like you want to see the people that you interact with on a daily basis online in person. And I think when you're first getting started as an online business owner, you spend so much time by yourself, locked in, reading books on your computer. I got these blue light glasses next to me for a reason. And like, I need them, and at the same time, I needed people around me in that, or I would have lost my mind. You need people who are good. You need to be on a call and hear somebody's question and be like, damn, like I'm struggling with that same thing. Like that's real. I appreciate your courage in asking that. And like you need a community where you can pour out in as well. And I think the more I poured out in Summit, the more I gave in Summit, the more I realized that I could actually do it myself because I had the answers to the questions already. I just needed somebody to give me a pat on the back. It's like, bro, you burn the boats for a reason. You're good, right? You're qualified enough to talk about these things. You're qualified enough to serve your clients at the highest level, and you should charge adequately, because of it. So those are some of the things that shifted for me that helped take us to 65K.
I love that, man. And one of the most interesting things for me to see too, because I do a lot of these interviews, and which is a great problem to have.
Yeah.
However, like one of the things I see or I hear come up over and over is like the power of the community. And it's definitely not something that we invest into. It's like an added bonus that's like actually it's like it actually has such a massive impact
Yeah.
on our success. And I think a really good point there as well is like, yeah, we can hammer away and just like work and grind it out. But at the end of the day, it's like we're humans and humans have
Exactly.
emotions. And
Exactly.
like having, and we crave connection. And so having other
Yeah.
people to lock arms with and just kind of pursue the same mission is invaluable. Um,
Bingo.
let's talk about your team. What does that look like right now?
Yeah.
Who do you
Yeah,
have?
man.
And like, when did they kind of come on board too?
hmm Yeah, definitely. So within the summit process, you have that funnel, and within that funnel, there's different people that you're meant to hire. And one of your personal mentors, Dan Martell, I read his book as well, about buying back your time. It really transformed my mindset and how I view things. So currently on my team, or on our team, I like to say, we have an appointment setter, we have a closer, and then we have a content team. So in terms of hires, I think everybody's problems are different, what they need to solve for. For us, I think the first person I worked with, but it was on a one-off basis, is our content team. Is Nick Jansen and his team.
Mhm.
So I started working with him. He just made one ad for me, and that ad was the one that printed. So he's the first person I worked with. He's now on retainer within the business, and he makes content for us on a consistent basis, on a monthly basis. So once we launched that ad, lead flow was going crazy. And I remember one day I really burned out. I did like 400 touch points in a day. And this is in the DMs, and I had a setter reach out to me. He's like, dude, like, we'd love to, work with you and see what it would look like. And I remember he hopped on a call with me, and I'm like, dude, like, I'll give you 2 week trial run. Dan talks about this. Give you 2 week trial run, paid, do your thing. He came in, crushed it. He ended up staying longer than the 2 weeks and hasn't left. I hope he's with us until, we sell this company. And then right after that, we wanted to really invest in nurturing the prospects that were coming in at such a high rate. So then we invested in content, and at that point, I was taking all these sales calls, and I invested in sales coaching as well with your sales coach Austin Medlin. So I worked with him, and then after that, once I figured out that, I was the bottleneck in my business, and this is really after the mastermind in Miami, I had to take a step back and be like, okay, I got to buy back my time. So we increased ad spend, increased the friction, and then now I need a closer. So about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, we hired a closer. Her name's Anna, and she crushes it as well. My setter's name is John, so I want to shout them out. And yeah, man, it's just a great team across the board. And Nick has some help on his end with Summer. So it's about five of us right now. And aside from that, we're going to be bringing on some other people soon. Got another setter coming on board tomorrow for a 2 week trial. And then I got some other people coming in on a retainer basis to lead some calls for me as well. Not quite CSM, but they're going to be leading some calls and adding more value to the community for sure.
So good. What are you learning as a leader? Building the first iteration of the
Wow.
team. I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that can happen, things can go right, things go wrong, big
Yeah.
lessons that we learn. Like,
Yeah.
what are some of your main takeaways so far?
Yeah. There's something I heard Gary Vee say a very long time ago, and he talked about making decisions quickly and then being willing to change that decision if you're wrong. Right. I always tell my team this, that like, like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I'm willing to shift and move. And I pray it always stays that way. Like I pray I always lead humbly, right? Because I don't like thinking about org charts from top to bottom. I like thinking about leadership from front to back. So like I'm in the front of the line, winds going in my face and debris and all this stuff. And I got to walk forward. This is the vision. This is the direction we're going in. And I can always look back at them like, we good. You guys got my back. And that's how it should go. So as a leader, I'm learning to make decisions pretty quickly, which we've done, whether it be changing ad spend, increasing ad spend, having the courage to do that. And another one is, it's not about having, you have to have people who are bought into the vision, right? And I think I learned this as well from playing professional basketball and all the teams I played on, whether it be in college or in the pros. There has to be the leader has to care more about other people's goals than he cares about his goal, right? Like the first thing that I ask my team when they come on board, or I'm thinking about my setter in particular, I'd ask John, I'm like, hey man, like, what is your goal? How much do you want to be making per month? Right. And then as long as I know that he wants to be making, let's say, X amount of money per month, I have to build the system to be able to at least do that. right? Otherwise, he's not the right fit for this team if he wants to be doing that. So you have to lead from a selfless place and lead to serve and really invest in your team too. Like something that I wish I was able to do during the time of the mastermind. But going forward, I'll do this more. I certainly hope to be able to do it. Is I want all of my team to be present because let's say if they're speaking for me in the DMs or if they're speaking for me on a closing call, I want them to have the same training that I do. And they only do that not by, you got to work smarter, not harder. It's not about me coming to every meeting and, hey, let me just do a bunch of coaching. It's like, let me just bring you to the mastermind so you can have these conversations and it can expand your life and make you better in certain ways too. So those are some of the main things I've learned about leadership so far.
I love that. And I was on a call with Dan actually earlier this morning, and
Okay.
he was talking about this. He was talking about like bringing up your team members and training them. And so in his book, he talks about the camcorder method where you record a
Yep.
video and they watch the video and stuff. But he's like, the next level to that is like just shadowing. It's super simple.
Yeah.
And he's like, he learned it from his mentor where he hopped on a call with him. And then he had like two of his team members just on the Zoom call, no cameras on or anything like that. And they're just shadowing.
Yeah.
And Dan's like, yeah, for like my team members, especially like his kind of direct reports, he's like, I literally
Hmm.
have them follow me or just like get a chair, sit in the corner of the room and just listen,
Yeah.
take notes because I need to
Yeah.
get them to think how I think and
Bingo.
understand how I think. And so that would be a really good place to start too, is just like a full immersion of just, all right, every
Definitely.
like for the next 2 weeks, you guys are on every coaching call with me, every
Yeah.
one-on-one, every like everything.
Yeah.
And let them kind of soak that up. So
Definitely. That's a great idea. Thank you for that.
yeah, of course, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Um, cool. So why do you think that one ad just took off?
That's a great question. A lot of factors. Like I can't take credit for it. Like I got to give glory to God. Like for me personally, my situation, I would be wrong if I didn't do that, man. Like just what Jesus has meant to me, and He's taken me through storms and saved me through a lot of things, and I would not be here without Him. So that's first. Another thing I do know, Jay, is that we spoke to the right people and we understood the problem, right? And I think about
Mhm.
it this way, and I heard a mentor of mine say this. He said something along the lines of like, "You're not selling the wrong product; you're selling it to the wrong people." Right. And what we spoke about in the ad and what we speak about in the ad, it's to the parent, it's to the player, but it's to the people who have the problem. And I speak about it from a place of like, okay, like I get you. Not only do I get you, like I've lived as you, and I haven't been a parent yet myself yet. At the same time, like, dude, like I get it. I have a younger brother. He plays AAU basketball. I know what it's like for you all to get up early in the morning on the weekends and drive to tournaments and pay all these trainers and coaches. And still, when you get out on the court, you paid all this money and your child is still freezing when, his moment comes or her moment comes. And, I get it. I've had the yips as a player, right? I've had ups and downs in my career and more downs than ups sometimes. No, I wouldn't say that. I think I'm reframing my mindset. So I've had a lot of ups and been able to redeem a lot of those moments for sure. Um, but man, like so another book that I love. I'm a big reader. It's called The No BS Guide to Marketing to the Affluent. And dude, like it's a pretty like hardcore book in the sense of like don't sell to broke people. Like it may
Yeah.
sound messed up, but like if you're a business owner, like why would you sell to people who don't have the money to pay for your service? And I heard somebody say recently, that same mentor, not the one who wrote this book, but he's like, you should sell to people who want your product, not people who need your product. And that really, I think we do that in the ad, right? We do that in the friction we create within the setting process and the Calendly questions and on the sales calls. It's like, how bad do you really want this, right? What's your pain point, right? Do you have the problem that we solve, or are we just being greedy for money and being like, oh, we'll take you on just to figure it out? And I think some coaches mess up by being hungry for money. And I've been in that situation too. I've been broke. Like I get what it's like. Um, so I've been in a position where I'm like, okay, I could take the money, but I think you get farther in life with your no than you do your yes. So you got to be able to say no to people because that no eventually will lead to the yes. And like the more you say no, I guarantee you that right opportunity will come.
That's
It
so
just
good.
it just happens.
And I find too that when you say that you want something, you'll get tested. God will test
Hmm.
you to see, all right, how badly are you like, do you actually want it? And are you actually willing to put your money where your mouth is when the opportunity presents itself to say no to the test to then make room for what you actually do want?
Bingo.
And
Bingo.
that's
That's good. I saw that today, man. I saw that today. Like I was praying about something and I saw like another opportunity. And I think sometimes we can get distracted by the shiny thing and forget what it is that we had written down the whole entire time. Like written the thing that we've been praying for, written the thing that like is a background of our phone. And then we see something that's like 4 out of 5 instead of 5 out of 5. And we're like, all right, let's go in. Let's do it. But in actuality, it's not going to be the right fit because as you said in that answer, like we have to be long-term thinkers. This can't be a short-term fix. Like if you, and this is a message to anybody who's watching this right now, who's thinking about joining Summit, if you have a short-term mindset about this, it won't work and you should not sign up.
I agree. We don't want you.
No, like don't do it. Like you have to have a bigger why than the BS that you're going to go through because you're going to go through it. Like I can't tell you how many times like even in the past few months, like we had a big month, collected 36,000 in cash. And then months after that, it was kind of like, well, it's a lot slower. What happened? You got to regroup and like bring yourself back to square one because not every month is going to be a home run month. At the same time, you can build a system by having a community around you and a team around you and putting in the work, right? You can build a system that brings you those consistent 30K months in cash collected. Um, but yeah, man, it's a mental thing too, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yeah,
was
man.
going to ask about kind of talking about the ads side of
Yeah,
things for somebody that has maybe tried ads before and it didn't work. I was going to
yeah,
ask, like, why do you think yours worked? Like, but I think you hit the nail on the head. You gotta identify the right people.
yeah,
You also have to identify the right problem and then
yeah,
identify the right way to speak directly
yeah.
to that problem too.
Bingo. I think about it this way, Jay. If you can identify the right people and do it so specifically, you will enter business and not have competition. You won't. Like, because if your product or service is for everybody, it's not for anybody. Like I had people, obviously we work with basketball players. I can't tell you how many people who've come to me to, hey, you should do a group event, right? You should meet a bunch of players and do a group event. You should do speaking engagements. You should do this. I don't want to get distracted by any shiny objects. I help this player with this problem. Right now, obviously, our business can grow and change, but man, like simple scales. I think Dan said the simple scales, dude, and we gotta focus on those things in order to make it happen. But yeah, I'm happy to share some numbers too if you want to hear some of that.
Dude, I'd love to. Yeah, talk just a little bit about
Yeah,
ad spend and ROAS and all those fun things.
definitely. Definitely. So these are our 2025 numbers. We've had ups and down months in terms of ad spend. These are pretty, Looney Tunes numbers, I'd say. So we're doing in total ad spend, we spent about $1,854. Cost per follower for the first 3 months is 46 cents. We've done about 11,700 touch points, pitched about 300 calls, had about 140 book calls. Cost per call is $13. Cash collected is 73,400, and our revenue is 131.60 or 131,600, and ROAS on cash is 39 or really 40, and then ROAS in revenue is 71.
I don't even know what to say aside from let's trade businesses.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, it's definitely a blessing. Like I don't take it lightly. Like in our biggest month we did 36,000 36,000 in cash. Our biggest month this year, that was January. I think I was telling you before we did about 21,000 in 22,000. and say, and in revenue, or it's 22,000 in cash, all of 2024, fourth quarter 2024. And then in 2025, the first month, we kind of blew that out the water and 3x that in revenue. So yeah, man, we're trending upwards. And this last couple of months, we've made some changes and shifts. Like in any business, there's ebbs and flows, and the ebb happens so that you can have a bigger flow in the future. So we're scaling in the right direction, trending in the right direction. So we're happy across the board.
So good, man.
Yeah, man.
And excuse me, I find too, like, as you've been building up the team, hiring a closer, like your capacity is expanding.
Bingo.
And so it makes sense why like things dip a little bit,
Yep.
because they dip because you're creating, you're building that capacity. And
Yeah.
then, but like, brother, buckle up for the next few
Yeah.
months ahead, because
Yeah.
yeah, like it's such a cool journey too. And I have no doubt in my mind that over the next 1 to 2 quarters, like your record month right now is going to become a horrible month on average. And that's a pretty cool
Hopefully
feeling
so.
to see. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It really is. It really is. Like, I think about it this way, like, you could call this an overnight success and say how it happened so quickly. I think if you're the right person, you come in the program, it's if you come in the program with the right intentions and you put in the work, it's going to be an overnight success for you. Right? You'll increase your prices, you'll move some metrics, and you'll figure out what to move. And there's this story that I'd heard before. I think that really hits the nail on the head. And there was like this, I think it's a fictitious story, but there's this nuclear power plant, they're having this malfunction or whatever. And this guy comes in and they pay him big money to come there. And he comes in to fix the problem, and he walks around the whole facility. He's there for like maybe just 2 minutes, and he walks up to this panel he sees, and he draws a red X there. And he comes back down the ladder that he just climbed up, and he tells the manager there, he's like, "You see that red X? Just fix that, you'll be good." Then he hands him a bill for like 300 grand, and he's like, the guy sees the bill. He's like, "What are you talking about? 300 grand? Like this makes no sense." And the guy's like, "Look, like." It's maybe $10 or $5 for the Sharpie, right? For that marker. And it's 299,990 for everything else, for the knowledge that I have in my head, for the experience that I've worked through. So if you come in this program and you have the knowledge, right? You can charge 300,000 for your Red X.
So good. So
Yeah.
good, man. That's awesome. What would you tell somebody who's kind of just going through the ringer right now? Somebody who's stuck, maybe they hit a plateau, they've been
Yeah.
grinding out for a while. They think they know deep down they're destined to do great things, but they're just not
Yeah.
seeing the outcomes of their inputs yet.
Yeah, I think one of my mentors, Myron Golden, he says it this way, that like all work works, right? It's just that sometimes the work works on you before it actually starts working.
Mm.
And I think about, seasons I've been in where I'm like, I'm reading all these books, man. I read hundreds of books. I've, read hundreds of books and hopped on a bunch of calls. And I don't know if it's been 100 calls, but it's been a lot of damn calls. And dude, we've done a lot. We've struggled and been ups and downs, and I've been broke and I've been hungry, and I've been cold and had rough nights and all that stuff, dude. Regardless of where I come from, like I've had those moments. And um, dude, man, like if they're on the path for the right reasons and it's not doing something in their own strength, like I think sometimes, we could, you know, try to fulfill a mission in life that's actually not ours to fulfill. Right. And
Mm.
as long as you're fulfilling your mission, your God-given mission, there's no way you can fail that mission. And just keep at it. And when in doubt, zoom out. And I think some people can get stuck and be in that rut and be in that ringer. And it's time to get help, right? It's time to speak to somebody. And I like to think of it this way. As another book I like called Who Not How. I was teaching it to my my community the other day. And it's just about that, man. Like who, not how. Not how, I'm in the ringer. How am I going to get out of this? It's like, no, I'm in the ringer right now. Who do I need to talk to get out of this? Or who knows the way out? Right. And then you figure out what you do. You pay that 500 down and you get the rest of the money later. Money will always come back. Like spend the money you need to on ads, spend the money you need to, like obviously don't make stupid decisions if you're a father or mother, and don't put your kids in a bad situation. Like you never want to do that. I never give somebody that advice. What I will say is like me, I'm a single man, 28 years old, and I have room to fail. And I'm not using this as an excuse, but if you're in my situation, dude, take out the loan. Right? We took out a loan recently to do that same thing, to go even harder on the business, to work smarter, not harder, actually. And if the numbers make sense, and if you're really set and you burn those boats, if you burn the boats, man, you got to figure out a way to get back. And you might as well not run around like a chicken with your head cut off if you burn the boats. You might as well get some help and get those wise people who have been through the ringer before and are now at the mountaintop, who are coaches within our space, who are going to come back down the mountain and build systems to help people come back down the mountain, their team, and lead you up it. So that's my advice.
I love that. Is there anything else that you want to kind of pass on or talk about that was a very pivotal thing for your success?
Yeah, man. Just for me, just like me, for me, trusting God in the process. I have to just say that, dude. Like you have to trust God in the process. And like I said, if you're trying to fulfill a mission, and I feel like this maybe is a word for somebody, like, dude, I remember there's a story in the Bible that talks about King David and King Solomon. His son was King Solomon. And David, he gets this vision to build a temple. And he tells God, he's like, God, I want to build this temple for you. I want to do it. I want to do it. Let me do it. Right. And then he's really ready to go. And then God ends up telling him through a prophet, he's like, hey, you're not going to build this temple. Your son actually is. Right. And I think sometimes we can get these visions and dreams in our hearts of like, I'm going to fulfill this mission and I'm going to do all these things. It's probably not for you to do. It actually might not be for you to do. You got to figure out what you're destined to do, right? What God's put you on this earth here to do. And if you do that, there's literally no way for you to fail, right? If I thought, Jay, that my mission was like, I'm going to score the most points in NBA history and I'm going to get the most rebounds in NBA history, I'm going to win them, just do all these different things, um, I would fail, right, if I had those metrics. But we have a business now that has an opportunity to help players for generations and generations to come long after I'm gone. So it's about working smarter, not harder. And like, I'd rather have a God idea than a good idea. And I think more people need God ideas instead of good ideas.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good, man. So good. I think that really nails it too when people are trying to find alignment
Mhm.
and they just need to, yeah, open their ears a little bit and listen and look for them
Bingo.
rather than kind
Bingo.
of forcing it. Now, you should take the next step and take one
Definitely.
step
Yeah.
at a time, and then that will kind of unveil itself as well. At least
Bingo. Yeah.
that was the case for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's so good, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, man, thanks for hopping on with me today
My
and giving
pleasure,
a
man.
bit of a snapshot here of your growth. It's been, like I said before, such a pleasure and an honor to be a part of your journey. And I can't wait to see where you take things from here. And I know you're going to build something absolutely incredible and change so many lives as well. And yeah, man, I just want to say how much I appreciate you. And
Thank you, man.
like, not only just like our working relationship, but like our friendship too.
Yeah.
And like just last month, we went down to Miami where you live and hosted a client retreat there. And just like how you just yeah welcomed all like what almost 30 of us,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like took us to the Heat game like courtside, like it was unreal, man. And so
Yeah.
I just want to say again I how much I appreciate you for doing that and just being such an
Thank
awesome
you, man.
person.
Yeah, thank you, man. No, I appreciate that. I think the best people in the world at what they do, they're the best at being able to give, right? And I think that's where the true fulfillment comes in. Like it's more blessed to give than it is to receive. And I think, you've given me so much, and I think about it as an investment, right? Like when you built out the team and built out the systems, and I hopped on a sales call with your closer, like you planted a seed in me throughout this whole entire process, and it's growing and still growing. And one of those fruits is being able to, show y'all a good time here in Miami. So, man, I'm happy to help, happy to be of service. And I hope this video really encourages somebody. And, whether it's to join Summit at some point or join my program, Coach Kama, whatever it is, man. It's really about helping and serving, and I know the right people will come along.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
I'll I'll drop your Instagram handle down below as well in the description. So if you guys want to check out Trey, and yeah, if you're playing basketball, work with this man. And
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, if you are a coach ready to draw a line in the sand, take things next level, my calendar link's down below. Let's chat. Love to see if we can help. So with that, see you in the next one. Thanks, Trey.
Peace. Thanks, brother.